Welcome to Board Game Nation. I'm Ralph, and today we're looking at Pet Evil by Joseph Liana. The objective in our game is to be the last pet standing. Your foes aren't going to obliterate themselves. Fire missiles at your opponents to reduce their health to 0. In setting up the game, each player receives a rocket token. If you're playing a tiny game, a short game, you're going to want to put it on the 15. If you're playing a mean game, 22. And if you're playing an epic game, you're going to want to put that all the way up there on the 30. When setting up, make sure that you have the Wasteland card separate, and that's going to go here, face up, at the bottom of the components deck. Also make sure that all 6 evil pet cards have been shuffled out of the deck, and each player is going to receive one of those. This is your components deck. Make sure that's well shuffled, and then put 4 cards, 1 on each scrap pile. Each player is then going to receive 4 cards, which go with your evil pet, and that's going to make your starting hand. Alright, so the aim of the game is to build missiles and destroy your opponents. How are you going to do that? First, you're going to need to collect pieces of rockets in your hand. You're going to need a rocket piece, a warhead piece, and at least 1 explosive. Now, if you can get more explosives, up to 3, you do more damage. And also, if you can match the symbol which is on each rocket, then you'll be doing more damage. If you can build a clean missile, which is what I've laid out here, with all the colours matching, 3 explosives, then you're going to be doing 12 points of damage. Conversely, if you're not as patient and you just want to get blasting, you can build a rocket with any configuration of parts, but if you're doing that with different symbols, different colours, then you're going to be building a dud missile or a dirty missile instead, which does much less damage. There is a wild card that fills in for any symbol and can make your rocket all the stronger. The other thing you're going to be able to possibly do is build a nuke. This is my favourite set of cards in the game. If you can assemble a nuke warhead, a nuke explosive, and a nuke rocket, you're going to do 10 damage to the person that you're targeting and 5 damage to the people to either side of them. However, you have to be careful, because if you're one of the people to either side of them, that's going to target you too. They're also going to take a radiation token, which means at the end of each of their turns, everyone's going to take 2 damage. So it becomes a ticking time bomb kind of deal. So, taking a turn. First is your supply phase. You're going to draw a card from the components deck. After that, you have a choice. You can either draw a second card from the components deck. You can choose to draw one of the scrap pile cards that are in front of you there. You can choose to steal a card from one of your opponents, but only if you have fewer cards in your hand than they have. Or you can choose to trade with your opponent. However, there's no obligation for your opponent or you to tell the truth. You can give them whatever you like, they can give you whatever they like, and it's up to you how that negotiation goes. Next is your command phase. At this point, you can build a rocket if that's something that is available to you. You can also use one of the many action cards that are available to you in this game. Finally, you have your scrap phase. If you have more than 7 cards in your hand, you have to choose which one you're going to discard and pop it onto the top of whichever scrap pile you like. If you manage to get all the way through your components deck and you draw down to the last card, then that card is going to be the Wasteland card. That means that you instantly get a radiation token. You start taking 2 damage at the end of each of your turns, and you start that ticking clock towards the end of the game. If that happens, shuffle your discard pile and make a new components deck ready to go. So after all of the explosions and mayhem, if you're the last person standing, if you can fire off that rocket, bang, 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 and make sure that you're the only living tyrant, then you are the winner of the game. Congratulations.